Now, welcome back to the second half of the programme. Good morning. I'm 55 years of age. From 18 years of age, I've always used my democratic right to vote. Not anymore. Micheál Martin and Leo Varadkar behaved like children in the playground, not talking to Sinn Féin. Not good enough. The voters of Ireland know the feelings. We've been ignored by the two main party leaders. Another texter regarding travelling. My friend travelled from Edinburgh to Dublin 2 weeks ago and was never asked to fill out any kind of form. Damien, regarding the discussion on Fianna Fáil, there's some bull going on there with all the leaders. Pensions increases because we'll now have 3 leaders of our small country and it's all about pensions and other matters. Another person saying that Anna was concerned about Fianna Fáil. No reference to the state of the country. That is in from Deirdre. And that also came in another text that this person was disappointed to hear them all talking about what's good for Fianna Fáil, not what is good for the country. Shows you what they are about. Another texter, I'm utterly disappointed. My grandmother would turn in her grave if she thought Fianna Fáil were going to go into coalition with Fine Gael, and if she knew what Micheál Martin has done for the party. Another person, Frank, says, tell poor Anna to get a life. Who really cares about the party and who runs it? It makes absolutely no difference. Well, the discussions we had, Frank, and the reason we had these discussions is that it does make a difference because Fianna Fáil has been at the centre of politics in Ireland for so many decades. And it's about the dynamics of Fianna Fáil. It's about the dynamics of what makes Fianna Fáil tick. It's about how they relate to other parties and how a party that has, I suppose, endured so much support in different walks of life over so many decades, when that begins to wane, how do they try to retrieve it? How do they rebrand themselves? How do they work with other parties? And it's a fascinating thing to look at and to try and understand. Another person saying, this discussion with Fianna Fáil is very important and I hope they make the right decision, says this person. Another person, Micheál Martin and a select few have been making decisions for the membership since 2016. Supplying confidence has destroyed my party, says this person, and our leadership treated our members with contempt. As a former National Executive member, I was forced to resign due to my disgust and disappointment. And another person, a Fianna Fáil member, saying, this is the only show in town. We have to vote in favour of this or we are going to be in serious difficulty in the election if an election is called. Keep your texts and comments coming in 083 333 975 or you can call Audrey on 051 846 123. John phoned in to say, with cases and deaths still being so high in the UK, if Ireland's to open its airports, possibly people in the UK could use it as a loophole. That is a possibility. And another texter said, completely different matter, the matter of hosepipe bans. Can someone please talk to us about hosepipe bans in Waterford and beyond? What I see is a multitude of field sprinklers operating. It's a bloody disgrace. What are we going to do about it? Well, are you out shopping this week? Have you been out and about? We had a little chat with Dennis Carroll, who is the manager of City Square Shopping Centre, just a couple of days ago when the shopping centre opened, regarding all the queues and how to manage the queues. So here's a little bit with Dennis and also some punters, some consumers out and about in Waterford City Centre.
It's been interesting. It's definitely a new way of shopping. I suppose it was quite enough in the morning. The 10:30 thing where people only started to shop helped a lot. We got settled in a little bit and some of the tenants got to know how to work all their new systems and get everything in place. But as the hours have went on, it's got quite busy. I know the majority of people are keeping to the social distancing, but unfortunately it's a difficult task for the staff and security here to I suppose they feel it's not natural to go to tell people that sorry, you can't stand here, you can't talk and stuff. So we'd really love if customers would just kind of not get too caught up, and when we're asked to move along if they could, we'd appreciate that loads.
I just looking down here now, so we've got JD Sports and there's a queue there, there's maybe 20 people, and then there's another queue down below is that for the GameStop,
for GameStop, yeah.
GameStop. You're basically trying to keep those couples or those little family groups 2 metres apart.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
difficult.
It's very difficult, and it's a tight shopping centre, I suppose. So like lots of plans have been put in place for the last, I was going to say days, but really it's going back weeks and months, and drawn everything out. But, you know, on the very first day when everyone's back, some things work and some things don't. But we would do our utmost, and we've put a lot of effort into it, and we have additional security on and additional cleaning to make sure all the touch points and everything are all clean and stuff. But yeah, I suppose it's difficult for the customers too. They've been locked up, I suppose, for a long time, and there's a pent-up demand for them to come out, and they just want to get out to JD Sports and all our popular stores here. So while it's hard on us, it's hard on the customer as well, and it takes a while to get used to it. We have signs to direct people around and tell them everything, but it's not easy when you come in first. So
it might calm down a bit after a little while as well, because like JD's is only open now a few hours, GameStop is only open. I know there's some people are dying to get games and stuff like that and go and buy the trainers and the runners.
Absolutely, yeah, no, and that's what we found as well. Even last week when I suppose, you know, the shops on the high street opened up, Monday and Tuesday of last week was almost as busy as it is today with people in. So yeah, no, it does. It's you've got a couple of days of people getting used to it, and then the demand, I suppose, they'll come in and there won't be as big a queue. It's similar to Dunn Stores. Damien, you were here yourself before. You'd see there was a massive big queue. Now it's settled down and people understand the flow of it and they're doing it. So yeah, we have to take it day by day.
No word on Debenhams at the minute, obviously. It's unfortunate. It's a sad situation for the staff. It's a premises, a big area. You want to see at some stage somebody coming in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it is. It's been very tough on all the staff, and I suppose with the whole pandemic and everything, I suppose we didn't, as a centre manager, we didn't get to see a lot of the staff, and you know, when they left and stuff. But yeah, look, it's a difficult time now, and in particular, you know, there's not much going on in relation to try getting tenants in and stuff. There'll be lots of work done on that in the future, but you know, as you know, at this stage it's trying to keep everything going and stuff. But hopefully in the future things will be sorted out. But definitely, you know, for the staff it's a difficult time.
And the importance of people shopping local, very, very important.
Absolutely, yeah, no, shopping local is very important for many reasons. One, it's just, you know, I suppose give a lot back to all these tenants that are here. You know, you forget sometimes, and you say shop local, people forget some of the bigger stores like JD Sports and like the others, that there might be big stores but they're still shopping local. They're implying JD Sports could have 36 staff in there, and you know, if people are not coming to the local ones, then you're in trouble. Like, you know, Debenhams is a big thing, but we need to be supporting all our local ones like Debenhams, I suppose, like that. So yeah, shopping local, looking after each other, kind of paying back to the stores that were open during the bad times, you know, over the last couple of weeks, and at the utmost we're very much pushing for shopping local.
I'll let you get back to sorting out a few of those social distancing.
Thanks, Damien.
I went down then to talk to Richie, who is the manager in GameStop. I won't keep you long.
How are you?
You're mad busy, Richie.
Flat out.
How's it been?
Really good so far, yeah. Really good. It's great to see people in shopping. Fantastic.
What have you got? 6 people max in the place
yeah,
here?
Yeah, 5 to 6 people. Absolutely, yeah. It's great to have people back in.
And gamers really intent on...
Absolutely. A lot of hype on the PS5 coming later in the year sometime, hopefully.
It's going to be a lot better than the new Xbox, is it?
Well, let's see.
Let you get back to it, basically. And people have been very good,
absolutely,
very cooperative.
Fantastic. Great vibe. Great to see people out and about, shopping. It's good buzz back around the town.
Richie, thanks very much.
Thanks, really, Damon.
I met a lady then who has been out and about doing her shopping in Waterford city centre. You're out shopping?
Oh yeah, it's good to be back shopping and that, and it's great that we're kind of getting back to some sort of normality, but we'll spend all the money we saved up anyway.
You have the mask on you there, fair play to you, and what's your own name, where are you from?
Mary Byrne.
From where, Mary?
Kingsmeadow.
And how important is it to be wearing the mask out, do you think?
Well, I want to take every precaution really, you know. So it's very hard because you get very warm in it, but you can take it off in between and that. Please God, we'll be back to normal soon anyway.
I see you have your Shaw's bag there. You were down in Shaw's.
I was in Shaw's today, yeah.
How was it?
Oh, great. Like, there's not many in there, but it's great to see it open again, you know, because bring back a bit of custom. Sure, all those people are up for so long and that, you know.
And do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 74.
How did you find the 4 months, the 3 months?
Oh, I found it very hard sometimes. Like, it's hard when your freedom is taken away from you, isn't it, for a while there. But now I'm fine. I'm so glad everything is getting back to normal.
Was it lovely just coming out today and coming into the shopping centre?
Oh, lovely. And lovely sunshine as well, you know.
Mary, thanks very much.
And thank you.
Continued good health.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
And thanks very much, Mary, for talking to me. A number of texts and callers. Happy 15th wedding anniversary to Alison and Glenn Sheridan Tremore. Also, it's Glenn's birthday today, from Mam, Dad, Ray and Joan. Happy birthday, Glenn, and happy anniversary, Alison and Glenn. Bernadette phoned in to say she would have always voted Fine Gael, but in the last election she voted Sinn Féin. She's extremely disappointed that Sinn Féin were excluded from the talks. It also shows the arrogance and ignorance of the other two parties. They would want to read a book on how to lose a democracy. Caller phoned in to say 4 weeks ago Jason said if we go into government with Fine Gael it'll be the end of the party. I did put those matters to Jason. A lady said she's really disappointed. Jason spoke to him about 12 months ago about Focus Ireland and getting back in touch with there. Eddie phoned in from Youghal and I've read out that clip as well. And Mary says Fianna Fáil just got in with Sinn Féin votes. Many people texting in about that. Michael also asked what's going on with car insurance. He got a quote that was €70 dearer from last year. When he rang the insurance company, the person he spoke to didn't even flinch and knocked the €70 off. It's really annoying and time consuming. Why don't they just send out the correct quote? The reason they don't do it, Michael, is because they are chancers. They just literally want to basically say we can get more money off you if you can, and if you pay it well and good, and if you don't, so you always have to ring back. It is ridiculous. It is stupid. There should be a law against it actually, but the government's done nothing about it. They've set up commissions, they've said they're going to try and do this, that and the other, but they haven't actually acted on it. Tweedledum and Tweedledee, says this texter. There's a pact in the City Council as well, joined together at the hip. And Andrew said, in relation to travelling on airplanes, can you look at the ferries? As I know that in particular, Irish ferries are back to making freight drivers share a cabin with another driver. There's no social distancing on board. This COVID-19 is not gone. And there's still ferry companies playing with people's lives. Very good point. Another texter, Gardaí shouldn't be on duty alone in these dangerous times. Criminals in Ireland, and especially when we have a generation, some of whom think resisting arrest is okay. William in Dungarvan says, regarding Sinn Féin, all I can say is give Sinn Féin a chance. You can tell by the people around, Conor McGuinness and others, they will get things done. Now, in terms of getting things done, a lot of restaurant owners are trying to look at getting their pubs and restaurants that are serving food reopened. I've been talking to Adriano Calavari from Azzurro out in Dunmore East. I'm about to meet him just to see what is the situation regarding his restaurant. And he's been talking about trying to go from 2 metres down to 1 metre. How's it going? How are you? There you are.
Morning.
Good to see you. Not at all. Okay, so tell me, you've got a lot of things planned. What's happening at present?
So, for the first time in months, we have nearly a full complement of staff.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we had all the kitchen staff in today, just cleaning, scrubbing, pulling out all the fridges and freezers, just doing a full stock list, food and alcohol, cleaning up, getting the outside ready, doing a bit of repainting, getting the patio ready.
How many staff do you have here, full, part-time? Obviously it varies from winter to summer, but
yeah.
At the height in the summer, how many would you be looking
In
at?
the summer, I'll have 20 to 30 people working here, mostly full-time.
That's a lot of responsibility, that's a lot of wages, a lot of salaries.
You get used to it.
I know, yeah, but that's how does it make you feel to make sure to get this business back up and running for their sake, not just for your own?
Anybody who's in business will understand that you put your heart and soul into it. You really do. It's like a baby. It really is. And it was heartbreaking to see it closed for the last couple of months. But not just for me, like the whole country. I mean, we crave normality. So the weather's fantastic today. The village is hopping. Everybody's walking around. The sun is shining, so you're in good form.
I've just had an ice cream.
There you go. You intend to indulge for an ice cream, did you? There you go. I hope Mary was in chatty form. So you think about it. People come to Dunmore, they associate fun, holidays, good time, relax, swim, dinner, a few drinks, just relaxation. That's what they think of when they come to Dunmore. So, I mean, that's what we do.
You've been doing the takeaways. What you're doing now at the minute is you're getting everything ready.
Yep.
Getting all the systems in place, all the tables organised, different things in place.
I had the measuring tape out last night. Let me talk about the kegs of beer first. Yep.
Kegs of beer, do they have to go back?
Yes, they all have to go back.
They all have to go back.
The man from Heineken came here today and he tagged them, and I've got more up in the shed as well. So they all have to go back.
Oh, what a shame.
No comment. No comment.
Talk to me about the social distancing measures. We're talking about 2 metres at present. What will it mean for you and your layout here?
I have a sneaking suspicion that they will drop it to 1 metre. We're sort of operating on the assumption that it will be dropped to 1 metre.
And that is very possible.
I suspect it's probable.
Yeah.
Because there are so many, never mind cafes, pubs, restaurants, every industry across the board. This is not a viable business at 2 meters. It's just not. At 1 meter, I have a fighting chance. That's my attitude.
At 1 metre, it is possible to work out the table layout.
Yes, at 2 metres, it's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not. This room, if there was no social distancing, there'd be 610, there'd be about 22 covers in here. With a 2 metre social distance, strictly speaking, you'd have 8. And then, like downstairs, I've got a couple of nooks and crannies. It's a more open area outside, the patio, and then upstairs is just a larger room, so it's easier. But you're still looking, at 2 metres, I'd have a 60% drop in capacity. Wow. Yeah. There's no business. It's not worth my while to bring in the staff, bring in everything. By the time you're finished paying your bills, it's just not worth it. It's easier for me just to do takeaway.
And the takeaway has been good just to pay a few little bills.
The takeaway, it's been busy enough just to keep the wheels turning. I've kept on 1 or 2 staff members. I'm making enough money to pay the suppliers and keep the doors open and just keep it turning. I'd rather do that than be closed and just take $350 a week. I'm not designed for that.
It's a challenge. All business is a challenge. Are you up for it?
Absolutely. I'm desperate to get back into it. Absolutely desperate.
Are you going to get the haircut? Are you going to shave? The COVID beard?
Yeah, I'm rocking the COVID look. You know what I mean? I'm kind of
castaway.
I'm like a fat Michael Heseltine, so I don't know. I need to get something done.
That's good. It's good. I like it. Foppish. Is that what they call it? Foppish.
Exactly it. Yeah.
The very best of luck to you and all your staff.
Thank you.
Foppish, yes, Adriano, and you might have seen Adriano as well. Himself and a few of the lads went out and they were making pizzas in front of University Hospital Waterford for the staff there on that. Well done to those that took part and made and produced the programme last night on Nationwide. It was excellent regarding Tom Gallagher, and the best of luck to the Gallaghers and all the family. Well done to Brian and Susie for their production and Anne who filmed it. Some texts coming in. Sinn Féin are a joke. Mary Lou went into hiding since the last election. She'd no intention of going into government. All they want to do is stay in opposition. Well, Sinn Féin people would disagree with you completely, texter. And we've heard David Cullinan say that. Good morning. The beginning of the end of Fianna Fáil began in 1979 when they tried to starve the postal workers during the 19-week strike. There we are now. Who cares about the new government, Damien? They won't last a wet week. We may as well have an election now. Would you like an election now? Go on, text me in, let me know. Now, again, a lot of Fianna Fáil people texting in, and we're going to continue that talk about relationships in politics. We're going to talk about relationships with Bernadette in a minute, about how do you date through the COVID. Have you been trying to date? Have you put dating on hold? Text me, please, 083 333 975. Any particular questions for Bernadette Ryan, our relationship counsellor. Firstly, some of the Fianna Fáilers should take the blinkers off and hang your heads in shame. And you should. There's been lots of corruption over the past 100 years, says this texter. We're getting really into history now, boys. Glenn says it's not all about burying the hatchet. It's about no centre alternative in Irish politics if this alliance takes place. Another person saying that I'm in the Cumara Fianna Fáil and I will be voting in favour of this deal. There seems to be a lot of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael members still living in the past, says this texter. Ordinary people in the country care about having a roof over their heads, food on the table, a proper job. It's not what about the politics of the parties from 100 years ago. And regarding John and Jason burying the hatchet, what about joining Sinn Féin? That should be about burying the hatchet, and that is the way to go. Keep your texts and comments coming in, 083 333 975. Good morning, Bernadette.
Good morning, Damien. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you keeping yourself?
Good. Thank you very much, yes.
Dating through the COVID. Very hard to do, I suppose.
Well, yes, and, it really strikes me that it's, again, one of the many challenges that COVID has thrown up to us all in the lives we live and the lives we take for granted and all of that sort of thing, But like everything, I think it poses its challenges and its opportunities. I've been reading up on it, and also anecdotally, just, from talking to some younger people, it's different. And some people are saying that it's giving more of an opportunity to actually talk first, and even if it's online, getting to know each other. Usually with online dating, there's this kind of rush to kind of meet up, even if it's just for a half-hour coffee, to kind of really suss out the person. So it's giving people time to sort of try to build up a bit of a relationship beforehand, which is a good thing.
Yeah, like the whole COVID situation has put effectively dating on hold, and we've had situations when boyfriends and girlfriends haven't been able to meet up and parents have kept them apart, and rightly so because of health implications. Now we've got the loosening of restrictions and maybe the loosening of morals. So, for example, if you wanted to go and meet somebody and you're doing an online dating relationship with them, and then you go and meet them for a cup of coffee, you meet them in a park or whatever, like even the idea of holding hands becomes problematic, and then going the next stage, having a kiss.
Yeah.
And then maybe going even a bit further. Oh, Jesus, we can't be talking about that now, lads.
Indeed. Yes, absolutely.
It raises so many different complications, doesn't it?
It does. And I think the majority of young people are being, very responsible around all of this, and there's a heightened awareness around it. But then I think some of maybe the younger kids who feel, this is an old person's disease, it's got nothing to do with me, that maybe they feel they can, sort of have at it or whatever, So yes, it is, for sure, it raises the risks. And it's very unfortunate because, relationships by their very nature are about, connection and physical connection and all of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But, I wonder in one way too, is it, will it bring about do you remember years ago in the movies, I'm showing my age now, but anyway, remember years ago the movies,
the black and white movies, yeah, go on, yeah.
Yeah, the sort of, there was a nuance about, sort of sexual relations and stuff like that. And it was almost like, sometimes, when you're looking at somebody's backside on screen, maybe not as romantic or whatever. So there's that sense of, I think online dating has sort of catapulted people into maybe feeling, they've got to get everything done and dusted on the first couple of dates. Whereas maybe this will bring a little bit of, just kind of easing into it and getting to know each other and building that excitement. And it might be a good thing, It might be, and there's so many different variations on this. And there was an ad I saw on Twitter which I shared of talk about online stuff. It was very good in terms of teaching young people not to be looking at porn websites because it's just a complete unreality, and it's these couple actually arrive at the door to talk to the young boy and the mothers. It's very strong. We should be doing more of that in Ireland in terms of promoting education for young people. In terms of relationships then, you might find, Bernadette, I'm not being facetious about this, but some people will use COVID to break up a relationship. They'll say, I don't really want to see you now, I'm a bit worried about my health and I don't want to hold hands with you, I don't want to, so they could use it in that sense. Absolutely, and sort of I have actually sort of come across scenarios like that seems to be the case, but also I think, sort of the anxiety and the fear around COVID has also had a destructive impact on relationships for people in long-term relationships, but maybe not kind of together at the moment, are afraid to meet up. I mean, the one thing about COVID, I feel, is that we are adaptive by nature. We adapt. We're adapting from the time we're born, and people have been so creative in their adaptation. Adapting to circumstances, adapting to various, this online together but separate kind of thing. And I think especially young people, they have really grown up with technology. So they can find their way around it and ways around things probably much easier than many of the older generation, Perhaps that imposition is harder on them, But yes, it has. And, sort of the whole isolation thing and the whole fear thing has had an effect. But also, Damien, I think for most of us, it has given us the space to reassess our values and what's important to us in life. And again, anecdotally, I'm hearing from younger people that, particularly, by the way, young men, are feeling a little bit more vulnerable and are more open to being vulnerable, talking about their feelings, online rather than all this when they meet up, bravado, I'm Mr. whatever, So I think there's lots of different things that are being thrown up from this that are really causing people pause for thought and reflection and going, well, what do I want in life? Because again, all the kind of maybe mad partying and drinking and dating and all of that sort of thing has slowed down and has halted.
Totally,
So
yeah. It really does. Yeah, you're 100% right there on that, Bernadette. It throws up a whole new gamut of feelings and how feelings are expressed in public. So even the fact of the pubs not being closed, people are not having drinks now. There might be some parties taking place at people's houses in the last few weeks. But even at that, there has to be a disconnect. There has to be, you're learning to know somebody and get to know somebody from even in 1 metre distance. You're talking to them rather than trying to feel them up.
And a lot of young men as well are saying the pressure is off. They don't have to perform because they can't,
Yeah. Well, not like there was a guy in Tramore. There was a picture taken of a guy in Tramore performing the other day on the side of the hill, but we won't talk about that.
But for those who are keeping the social distancing, they actually have to talk. So, I think that's a good thing. But the other thing that strikes me, particularly for the younger generations, and it's a generational thing, it's not just, teens or whatever, but their lives have been put on hold. Their careers, their studies, their everything. It's all been put on hold. And again, to be up to them how they actually face this challenge in their lives. It's a huge challenge. Life has been interrupted. And, again, where that's going to lead for them, for some, they might feel a bit hopeless about it. For others, as I said, adapting really well, coming up with creative ideas. So I think it's going to have a bit of a domino effect, and that will in turn affect, I think, and I hope, how people approach relationships, because, as you know, I'm very fond of relationships, and I think they're there's such a huge asset in life to have a good relationship, whether that's with an intimate one or friendships or whatever, So I think maybe this is going to be, there's going to be a good outcome from this. I hope. That would be my hope.
Bernadette, beautifully put. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Damien. Take care.
Great to talk to you again. Good to talk to you. Bernadette Ryan there, relationship counsellor, talking about dating through the COVID. What do you think? Now, in talks about relationships, Sean texted in, good morning. My family voted, canvassed and supported Fianna Fáil for decades, but for the last 20 years, they've been nothing, in my opinion, better than political prostitutes. They're finished now. Their own grassroots even dislike them. The only hope now is a split and a return of the likes of Mattie McGrath. Half Sinn Féin are former Fianna Fáil, including Mary Lou. That says Sean. Another texter in, we need a strong Fianna Fáil to have a strong country. Another person saying, Jason is talking about hard decisions. What about 64 billion squandered on the banks and laid on the backs of the Irish people? More waffle and nonsense. Shame on Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael to agree in a deal with the Green Party without talking about 24/7 cardiac care in Waterford and different matters such as this. Well said, Mr. Wilkinson, a politician speaking sense, says this texter. Why can't they bury the hatchet and talk to Sinn Féin, says another texter. Yes, we will have an election quite shortly. There should definitely be another election if the same support or Sinn Féin there will still be going into hiding for the next 3 months. And Willie phoned in to say he thinks that we are heading for another election. Good morning. Can you get somebody to talk, please, about children and school children missing out so much on interaction with other children? A lot of fed up children being homeschooled. Please, please, please get people on to discuss this topic for the children's sake. I despair. I do think this year needs to be repeated. Only a granny's opinion. I spent 30 years childminding. Next, we're going to talk about children going to Cul Camps. Would you be happy to send your child to a Cul Camp? Are you dying to send your child to a Cul Camp? Now I'm going to be talking to Owen about the Cul Camps in a minute. Like I said, get your texts and comments in about the Cul Camps, please. 083 333 975. Joe texted in, what about the raise of €8,000 for councillors? And I prefer a general election rather than wait for an implosion. Some pictures coming in of work that's been done underneath the Apple Market. Some tarmac being done. A text in from somebody. Looks like these are just test holes to try and sort out a subsidence. Samples appear to have been taken with a view to remedial works being carried out. It should have been communicated to the businesses, but it looks like it's going to be sorted at some stage, says that texter. And Barry says Fianna Fáil are in trouble. Oh, Janie Mac, so they are. Owen, good morning. How are you getting on?
Good morning, Damien. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thanks. Yeah, you're involved obviously with the Cul Camps. What's your full title, Owen, regarding, is it Games Administration Officer?
Yeah, I'm the Games Manager with the County Board here in Waterford, GA, working based up in Walsh Park.
Super, fair play to you. And fair play, you've had it's been very tough, and obviously games aren't back at the minute. We want to focus specifically on Cul Camps for the minute. What is the situation regarding Cul Camps?
Yeah, you would have probably seen yourself, Damien. I know some of your sports people would have seen the statement that was released by Croke Park there the other day. So the Cul Camps are going to commence on the 20th of July, which is in about 5 weeks' time, and are going to run until the end of August. So it's great news for everybody that the Cul Camps are going to be running a few weeks later than they would have been originally envisaged to run. But it's fantastic news, and we've been engaging, myself and the games development staff, engaging with clubs all week, getting the information out to them and looking at rescheduling the dates across the county. We'd ordinarily have 42 camps we would have been scheduled to have. We think we'll probably have about in the mid-30s, Damien. It just looks at a couple of clubs just for various different reasons won't be in a position to hold a camp this year, but the general signs are positive, and certainly there's going to be an awful lot of camps on in Waterford over that 6-week period from the 20th of July. So
yeah,
we're going well so far, hopefully.
Yeah, there's two different camps, I suppose, in this. And there's some parents that will obviously not want to send their children to Cul Camps because they might feel, I'm still a bit wary of letting them out there. Then there's others that are going to say, can't wait to get the children out there. They need to get back into social interaction, and they'll obviously say whatever procedures that you've put in place will ensure safety. What procedures are you putting in place? What differences will a Cul Camp be this year from, we'd say, last year?
Yeah, and I think it is important to acknowledge that there are people that for various different reasons, Damien, it just won't be possible for them to attend the Cul Camp. And some of it isn't that not even that they don't want it, they just can't because of maybe circumstances at home with siblings or maybe elderly people living with them. Yeah, so our camps, Damien, are going to have, I suppose, the feel inside the field will be hopefully the same with lots of children playing our games and doing activities and that. But I suppose when you get there, it'll be a little bit different. Obviously, we'll have all of the sanitation in place, and to be fair, clubs are actually putting that in place already as we speak for the reopening of grounds for training on the 29th of June. So when you come to the camp, there will be sanitation. There'll be hand sanitation stations that you must walk in and out past. Prior to even attending the camp, every parent will have to fill in an online health questionnaire, which is the same one they're going to be filling in for bringing their child back to training in a couple of weeks' time, as I mentioned. That'll have to be filled in and handed to us, physically handed to us, it looks like, on the morning of the first morning. And then the parents will need to liaise with us on a daily basis to make sure that there's no changes in relation to that. In Waterford, we're not going to be using any indoor facilities. I know the GA have given some guidance on when facilities can be used, opened up, but we've taken a decision in Waterford that there will be no indoor facilities used other than a medical room, which will obviously need to be there, and the use of the toilets for the children and the coaches to use as required during the day. But we won't be using the dressing rooms, we won't be using the halls, so all of our activities are outdoors.
And that does, sorry Owen, that does bring up the problem that sometimes arises when it's lashing rain. Because when it's lashing rain, you'd say to the children, right, into the dressing rooms if you want, boys in one area, girls in the other, whatever the case is, for 15-20 minutes while there's a heavy shower of rain. That facility is not going to be there, unfortunately.
No, it's not. And I know that, I suppose, in previous years in the camps, if it's a small shower, we suppose stand underneath somewhere, or some clubs have dugouts and stands and that, and we can make use of the ones that have that. But we won't have that indoor facility. If the rain if it's just a shower like some of the ones we had yesterday and the day before, we should be okay to get back out very, very quickly. If it's a lot of rain, we may have to cancel the camps today, which is something that we've done in previous years anyway. And I suppose we've been liaising with parents on this on an ongoing basis over the last number of years, and we certainly, you've always got the message out for us. To be fair, anytime we've asked you to get message out about camps being cancelled because of rain as well, that message has gone out. So
yes,
we can contact parents very quickly. We can send an email and we can ring parents pretty much straight away once we make that decision, and get them to come back down to the club and to collect the children.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't be raining.
Hopefully, well, it's been lovely for the last few weeks. Like that.
There's also the demand that's out there, and demand is expected to be high. So you're saying the number of clubs taking part in Waterford in particular, we say, is down. And in other counties, I was looking at it, the numbers are down as well. And the number of children that you can take in for each camp is going to be reduced as well. So you're advising people, if they are looking at booking, to get in fairly soon?
Oh, 100%, Damien, yeah. So the camps in Waterford are currently going to be capped at a maximum of 100 children per venue. So that's just to make sure that we can have make sure that everybody can be safe, that we can have enough of coaches. Obviously, with running our camps over a 5 or 6 week period, we have more camps each week, so we need more coaches each week. So to give every club who wants to have an opportunity, a fair go, we're going to have a maximum of 100 children. The online booking is going to be starting early next week. We're just waiting for the final details on that. But we working with clubs, and to make sure that if you want to get your club members onto the camp, certainly as soon as the online booking goes, and we'll be contacting clubs, let them know when that happens. That may be staggered over a couple of days. That we particular clubs will do that. But again, book early. But I suppose people are used. We're lucky, Damien, that we've had a great tradition, I suppose, last year, is that people have booked the camps early. There won't be any walk-ups this year on the camps, so you have to be booked online prior to the camp starting. We won't be in a position to take walk-ups this year. And I suppose it's important to note that there's a slight time change. The camps are running from 10 until 2 p.m. this year. They had run until 2:30 p.m. in previous years, but they're running from 10 until 2. And I suppose that's just to allow for the additional time it might take people to get in and get out of the camps at the start. But other than that, we will have a full programme of activities. The children will be back training they'll have 3 weeks back training by the time the first camp start, and the Board and Og and the underage matches will be starting from the 1st of August. So we will be, by the time we get to the week 5 and 6, we'll be back to pretty much general activity in the GA clubs that we have. So we'd be hoping that the camps would reflect that, and that we will be able to give the children a great experience. And we'll be we'll have kits, we'll have the kits, we'll have the bags. We'll have lots of the usual fun stuff, and we will have the signage in place, and we will have all the guidelines in place, and we're putting together some information that we'll be able to send out to parents in advance. Just again, some more guidance and advice that they can discuss this at home with the children, so that the children are aware of what's happening before they come to the camp, and we'll be able to work with them on that.
Owen, pleasure talking to you again. To you and everybody involved, stay safe, and the very best of luck.
Thanks, Damien, Jan. Listen, thanks for the time, and we're hoping that it's going to be a great 5 or 6 weeks. And as I said, we'll keep everybody posted with as much information as we can. Thanks,
Owen. Appreciate it. God bless. All the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Damien. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Owen Brannock there, Waterford GA, talking about the return of the Cul Camps. Let us know what you think. 083 333 975. Regarding relationships, here's an interesting text. Some exes will call saying maybe you need company. That's not the reason. We won't talk about that. So there's a good point. Yeah, there might be some exes trying to use the lockdown in terms of COVID and dating in COVID to try and get their way back into somebody's lives. Also a special mention that TG Cahir, Nematon TV are going to be doing a special programme on GAA Cul Camps, and it is going to be aired over the next few weeks starting on June 29th, so keep an eye out for that. Do Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael do people really believe that they're going to do good for us down here? They haven't done anything for the last 2 decades. Don't be kidding yourselves. If anything is going to change, it's not. And if anybody wants to contact Bernadette Ryan, our relationship counsellor, she's an email address, and it's D6, that's letter D, and then SIX counselling, d6counselling@gmail.com. Stay with us. Next we're going to be talking to one of Waterford's greatest sporting heroes. Now keep your texts and comments coming in. Good morning. St Mary's is made up of 4 or so clubs that could host 5 different locations. What are your thoughts? Kilmacbun, Man, Newtown and Kill. I'm sorry I didn't get to that text regarding talking to Owen. We'll come back to that. Are Cul Camps going to adhere to all the guidelines? Well, Owen says yes, they all are, and in terms of the collecting of forms and all different matters such as that. Special happy 18th birthday to Kaylee Nugent from all the gang. Happy birthday, Kaylee. Going to talk now to Patricia. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning, Damien.
How are you keeping?
I'm good, thank you.
Patricia Jackman, Camogie star. You're talking to us from Lincoln, is it?
Yeah. So I'm living just outside Lincoln, and I'm lecturing in the university. In the university
in the East Midlands, and sports and exercise psychology. Originally from Dunmore East, you've been playing camogie since you were a wee one. Can you remember when you first started playing, when you first picked up the hurl?
I suppose I'd probably started playing and poking around at home when I was a lot younger than I would have actually started playing. So I started playing just after I turned 7, when I ventured over to Galtier, or at the time it would have been into the Erskine School Hall, would have been when I started playing. And But I suppose I would have had a hurley for years, and Freddie O'Brien, who would have been on the All-Ireland winning team with Waterford, Freddie would have made my first hurley. So, it was something I had at a very young age. And
yes,
I suppose I started playing around 7 over in Gaultier, and that was it, really.
And you just absolutely loved it, didn't you? You still do.
Yeah, I suppose. Look, it was great because in the area that we live in, it'd be quite rural, and I went to a very small school where, I think when I made my communion, I was in a smaller church and everything. There was only a couple of us who made our communion. So for me, it was actually great from a social perspective and getting to know different people. And I suppose a lot of my best friends will be people I started playing with at a very young age. So yeah, it's certainly something that it's given me a lot more than it's taken from me over the years. Yeah.
And Patricia Jackman, your name being on this list with 24 other people as the list for Waterford's greatest sporting hero that we're doing in conjunction with Flahavans. And if people want to text in the word hero with the name of the person you want to vote for, please do 083 333 975, or you can go online onto the WLR FM page and see the list of all the great stars. How do you feel about being on this list, Patricia Jackman?
I suppose, look, I was a bit surprised when you look at some of the calibre of some of the individuals on the list. But I suppose I was delighted, firstly, to see so many women represented, first of all, which is very important. I think, secondly, to see Camogie represented. And I think it's a testament to the work that has gone on over the years, really. And, I still always go back to my father attending a game around the time when I started playing, and he went to the Waterford Crystal to watch WIT playing, and he asked someone, were there any Waterford players there? And someone just said, they don't play camogie in Waterford, which wasn't the case. And I think it's testament to a lot of people, up and down the county over the years who kept the game going when it wasn't as popular. And it's for those people, I think, that the rewards are now being shown out on the field, and to see so many clubs all over the county in areas where, a decade ago, 2 decades ago, there aren't clubs. I think that's where the game has gone. And, things like this are obviously fantastic, but, there's a couple of generations of players and volunteers who've contributed to getting the game and to getting women's sport up to this level.
Yeah, there are. That's very, very well said. And like at a time, even 2001, when you were involved with the Junior All-Ireland in Croke Park, and then the context obviously of winning 5 Ashburn Cups with WIT, the college team WIT, and the last 6 Puck Fada All-Ireland titles. That's phenomenal achievement, Patricia.
Yeah, I suppose looking in WIT, I was very fortunate to be part of very, very good teams and a setup. That was. It's hard to explain how good it was, and it was definitely the first taste of what I felt would have been equality in terms of how we were treated and how we were trained, and that was fantastic. And I suppose, the 7 Puck Fathers was great. I probably note that I did come runner up or down the list three times before that. So that was probably just more a case of stubbornness and resilience than anything else. But look, I've had some very good times over the years, and just it is, at the end of the day, it's a team game. I suppose that the Puck Father was a different one. It was quite individual, and a lot of psychology behind that, I think, and very different challenge, but certainly a good learning experience, if nothing else. And I suppose WIT, with Waterford, those experiences to go from junior to senior, and just to see the transformation and almost feel like you've played on 3 different teams, the junior, the intermediate, and then the senior. And again, going back, that was a long time coming in terms of even going back to the under-16 All-Ireland win in 2003. That was such a launch pad for people. And, I still remember being in Portlaoise that day, and, the likes of Lillian O'Sullivan and her generation, and the thrill that it gave them to see Waterford camogie winning the first All-Ireland. And it's just again testament to how far the game has come, and to know that there are so many other young women and young girls who can now have that opportunity, I think is really fantastic.
Yeah, you've been a trailblazer, you and others like you, Patricia, and fair play to you. And I know you're a very modest person and you're representing that group of people effectively, and congratulations. Can I ask you, do you want to say hello to anybody before I let you go?
I suppose hello to Mum and Dad at home. I'd say that they might be tuned in, and a special mention for my grandmother as well. She's I know she was missing her walks, definitely getting out, but I'd say she'll be hopefully enjoying herself, and just hello to everyone.
What's Granny's name?
Una Jackman. Yes. So she'll be hopefully tuned in this morning.
I'd say she will. And hello to your mum and dad and everybody that knows you, as you say.
Exactly.
Patricia, it's lovely to talk to you again. Take care and mind yourself, and congratulations on doing so well in Lincoln, and fair play to you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Damien.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much. Camogie star Patricia Jackman there, who is on our list of 25 people on Waterford's greatest sporting heroes. We've already gone through 18 of them, and on the 26th of June we are going to announce our winner. So get your votes in, please, if you haven't done so already. 083 333 975. Text in the word hero and the person that you want to vote for, or you can go online and do it that way. A lot of texts and comments still coming in. We'll take those more than likely tomorrow, because unfortunately time is already against us. Now, we've managed to cram in a lot into the show again today. What we try to do is bring as many diverse topics as possible to keep things moving along. I think I've actually got through most of the texts and comments. If I haven't, we'll come to some of those tomorrow, and a lot more besides. For Fabulous Friday. The sun is shining at the minute. There is some rain due later. Our deepest thoughts and condolences go out to the family of the detective guard that died up in Castlereagh, and to all serving Gardaí at the minute. I know they feel it so deeply when they lose a member of the force. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks, Julie, for producing. And Jeff is up next.